All right. Welcome, everyone. Are you guys able to hear me? Just give me a quick yes in the chat if you are. All right, cool. I'll give it a couple minutes while we wait for some people to join, and then we can go ahead and get started. How's it going? How's it going? Thanks for joining today. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, wait for some more people to join, and then we can get started with this resume roast. Let's go ahead and start sharing my screen. How's it going, everyone? Some to reach out. Could you give me your name? I know I have 7. I have 7 resumes that I'm going through. Yours might be one of them. Just give me your name and I can let you know. Paul. Yeah, Paul. I think yours is the first one. I emailed them the current resume I'm using. It's the old one. Okay. Paul, I'll go through yours. Just email it there. And then I'll just send it to me and I'll pull it up on the live stream. Yeah, I'll just do yours. I want to do yours first then. Okay, cool. I think we got a good amount of people in here. I think we can go ahead and get started. So yeah, welcome everyone to the second, I believe it's the second live stream for the resume roast. Basically here, I just go through different people's resumes and then just give some feedback on it. And then yeah, if there's any questions, let me know. And then if this is supposed to go for an hour, if there's more time at the end, I'll just ask the chat and you guys can send over your resumes to me and then I can go through them on live as well. But yeah. Okay, cool. So we'll start here with Saleh Hadins. So hopefully I'm saying that right. First thing off the bat, I see you should list out the actual link for your LinkedIn and GitHub links to make it easier for recruiters to see, just so they don't have to click on it to go to a third-party site. They can be able to easily copy and paste the link. It just makes things easier for them. And then it says here you're graduating in May 2027. And then you have 4.0, which is great. And then I would get rid of this community college experience. Like you go to a university, a 4-year university already. There's no reason to have this, and it's just taking up extra space in your resume. And then another thing is, I would update the format of your resume to be the LinkedIn or left out template. which you can see here. This is basically the template, and I'll probably refer back to this a good amount during this live stream. So basically how it goes is education section, your skills and courses, your experiences, and then projects. These should be like the core four sections on your resume. There shouldn't be any less or more than this. So yeah, I'll probably refer back to that in a bit. Okay, and then back to your resume. So just update the format of your resume. Like you have the honors and awards that can stay in that section. Like I said, relevant coursework, I would move that down into the skills and certifications framework, or skills and certification section, sorry. And then in this section, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I mean, as you pick up more skills, just try and fill this out. Get rid of the white space. Projects, your projects look good. I like how you have the tech stack you use listed next to the project name. And yeah, for the right hand side of the project section, I would just put the date you worked on it. Like I said, if they have your GitHub, you'll be able to find these projects in your portfolio. And then let's go. Okay, Paul, thanks for the message. I'll pull up yours in a bit, and we'll get to that. Now for the bullet points for your projects, I would say I don't see much information here that can quantify your impact. So I only see one bullet point has 40%. I would try and shoot to at least quantify every bullet, every chance you get. And yeah, that applies to all sections and all the bullet points. Here you have it a couple times, which is good for this project. And here you have it once, but try and aim for every bullet point just to try and quantify your impact. And then you have your externship experience, which is good. I would just call this the experience section, and then move it up to projects, because I think in my experience, like experiences hold more weight than projects. Like real world experiences hold more weight than projects do. And then yeah, like your leadership and affiliations. In the future, like as you pick up more experience, like your resume fills out more, I would just get rid of this section and add it to like make it another bullet point inside the skills and certification section. But yeah, it's pretty good resume so far. So yeah, that's the first one, and then I'll go ahead and get into the next one. Okay, second one, Ikechukuz. Again, first thing off the bat, it's not in the linked or left out format. Like I talked about earlier, you have your header and just the sections that should be included are the education, skills and courses, experience, and projects. Go back to yours. So like here, your header is good, but like I talked about, professional summary is not something that really belongs on a CS resume. Recruiters probably look at your resume for a few seconds at a time, like they don't want to read a whole paragraph. So I would get rid of this. And then your education section is good. Like I talked about earlier, move the relevant coursework section into the skills section. And then for your professional experience, this is good. Just put it into the linked or left out format. Like I talked about earlier, you're not really quantifying any of your bullet points. Like I don't see a single number in the Bit Brothers experience. And then I think the same thing holds for the Software Engineering Club experience as well. Here you have 20 hours a week, which is good. But yeah, and your fourth experience doesn't have it as well. So my recommendation is try and find a way to quantify every bullet point on your resume. So I think that would be a big priority for you here. Project section, this is good. I would get rid of the developer and like GitHub lines. Like recruiters can, if you have your GitHub link up there, it's kind of redundant to list it multiple times. You can easily click the link to your portfolio and find the project. Here, I would get rid of the personal project and group project words that you have. Just put Math AI, and then also after this line separator, I would add the tech stack that you use to make this project. So let me show you. So we'll take this resume, for example. You see that we have the project section. This resume does a good job of having it, minus like the GitHub link. It has the name of the projects, and then the tech stack used to create it. So yeah, that's my recommendation for you. So yeah, put that into for Chuku's. Sorry if I messed your name up. Yeah, just have the project name and the tech stack. Get rid of 1, 2, and 3 that you have there, and then also in your bullet points, it's also important to quantify the impact of your work. So try and have every bullet have a number within it so you can show your impact. But yeah, good resume. And then, oh my bad, I actually stopped sharing my screen. Okay, on to the next. Let me zoom out a little bit. We have Moses' resume. Again, first thing, LinkedIn or left out format. You need to get into that. Education, skills, experience, projects, those sections. We'll go back to yours. Like yours is not in the correct format with like the header and stuff and the line spacing. So I would do that for your header. You could get rid of your location. We've seen that like listing your location on your resume could lead to some location biases. Let's say like a job is hiring in California, and let's say you're from Florida, they might prioritize candidates in California. So just any chance that you can take or anything you can do to like reduce that bias would be good. And then here, just list out the links for your GitHub and LinkedIn in the header. And then education section, good GPA. Concepts. You have your skills section, the right order. And then your experience. I see you have 1 backend developer experience here. Again, quantifying your bullet points is huge. So recruiters and like hiring managers can understand the impact of your work. You don't have a single number in any of your bullet points. So I would think about your experiences again, see how you can implement some quantification into your bullet points to further show your impact. Now your project section, like I said before, for other people's resumes, have the name, the straight line separator, and then the tech stack used to build this. You can get rid of the summary, the sentence summary for each project, and just have the bullet points. And again, quantify your bullet points. And then I see your resume has more. And one big thing, your resume should only be a single page long. So here it's 2. I would get rid of this volunteering section and the certification section entirely. If you want to just like, I don't think they deserve like its own sections. If you wanted to add volunteering into your skills, just like add another line here, I would do that. And then the same thing for the certifications. But yeah, that's my recommendation for that. Okay, and then we'll go to the next. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, just drop it into the chat. Happy to answer. Okay, next we'll go to a Woolies. Again, same thing right off the bat. Not in it's too long and not in LinkedIn or left out format, which is what you see here. Like I said, I would be referring back to this good number of times. We'll go back to yours. Okay, so here, your header, I would get rid of location. Like I talked about earlier, it could lead to some location bias. I would just get rid of that. You have your email. I would also and definitely list out your LinkedIn link and your GitHub link in your header. Get rid of the professional summary. I don't think, like we've seen at LinkedIn left out, like that has no place on a SWE resume. Education, graduating 2029. So that means you're a rising sophomore, if I'm correct. So yeah, so since you're a sophomore, I would get rid of your high school on your resume. And then technical skills, you do a good job listing it out. Just try and list it out, your skills like this, separated by commas instead of multiple lines. Because here it's taking up a lot of space on your resume, like your technical skills section. This could easily be bullet points and then commas for your each of them. For here, like there doesn't need to be 4 lines for Python, JavaScript, Java, C++. Where can we find the internship resume template? I can send over a link. Give me one sec. I'll send over a link and drop it in the chat. Okay, yeah, that's the template that you can use. Okay, and then back to your resume. Tools and software. So yeah, same thing for all these. Achievements doesn't require its own section. Like we talked about, this could just be add this to like one of these. I would get rid of this currently learning thing. It just kind of shows you're not. Okay, cool. I'll update the access after this live stream, and then you can access it. Currently learning. I'll get rid of the currently learning section. It just shows like you're not like well versed in this stuff if you're currently learning it, and it just kind of signals like a weakness, like more than a strength. And then achievements, just yeah, add it if you wanted to add it to your technical skills section, and just list these out with commas. And then same thing with interest. Do that same thing with that, and then projects. I see is kind of your only technical thing on your resume. So yeah, so for this project, you can, there's no need to say this, like you've solved 100+ competitive programming problems. Just, I don't think recruiters are really looking for how many competitive programming problems you've solved. And then for this experience, MERN, like use the MERN stack here. I would just list out the stack with the line separator. And then, yeah, again, 0 numbers here. Quantifying your bullet points is huge, especially for you. This project is like the only like real experience you have like building. Like I don't see any like internship or like any experiences outside of this project. So I would highly prioritize like quantifying these bullet points, actually going back and seeing what you did. So it can just, this is probably the star of the show on your resume. So you want it to be quantified well so recruiters and hiring managers can see your the impact that you made. But yeah, good job there. We'll move on. And then now we're looking at Afia's resume. So here, like the format, I would just get rid of these characters if possible. Just use the single like dot. These things are like may get like caught up in the ATS scanner, and it might mess up how your resume gets parsed. So I would just try and keep it as simple as possible. Just use the single, like you can use dots or like line separators, but nothing like too fancy like this. That'd be the first one. And then education section, this looks good. Honors is good here. Relevant coursework, I would move down to proficiency section. I like the format of your resume. I would just get rid of the blue section titles. And then I would also move skills and proficiencies up one section. So it should go education, skills, work experience, projects. So yeah, just first move relevant coursework into the skills section. And then we'll jump into your experiences. Soft Robot Lab. This looks really good, really well quantified. If you can for these, for this experience, try and just add a little more to get rid of the white space if possible. Same thing for the second one. Try and get rid of white space if you can, but great job quantifying it. And yeah, same thing for the third. Really good job with the experience section here. Programming. Now we'll go into the skills section. You have your programming languages. You're graduating in 28, so I'm sure as you pick up more tools and technologies, you'll be able to list them here and it'll fill up more space. I would also get rid of Excel. I'm not a big fan of having Excel on resumes. It's a very like business major thing. Like SWEs are definitely more technical, and it should be given like if we're able to use like Python and TypeScript and stuff. Excel should be like a freebie. Like we shouldn't even need to list it. But yeah, that, great job so far with this resume. Projects, great job here listing out the project name and the tech stack. I would get rid of the GitHub link. You already have your GitHub listed up there. If they want to find your project, they can easily click into your portfolio and find it. Instead, on the top right sections of your projects, I would just have the dates that you worked on it. But yeah, for this project section, it's still important to quantify your impacts. Like for like any of these project bullets, I don't see a single number listed. So I would just try and, if possible, look back, think about what you did. If there's any way to quantify your bullet points, I would go ahead and do that. And then leadership and campus involvement. Honestly, I would move this as a bullet point into skills and proficiencies. Leadership and campus involvement does not like require a separate section on a CS resume. Excuse me. All right. But yeah, great job so far, Afia. Definitely the best resume we've seen on this live stream so far. Just a couple changes and you'll be really good to go. Cool. We'll get into the next. We'll go. Now we're looking at Sally's. Looks pretty good off the bat. A little spacing issue up here. There's a lot of white space at the top. Just again, try and get this into LinkedIn or left out resume. Like you see, there's not much white space at the top. That would be the first thing. But yeah, back to that. Location, like we talked about, could lead to some location biases in recruiting. I would get rid of that. And then also I would add the GitHub link to your header. Like recruiting is super competitive right now, and it's definitely important to have side projects. So if recruiters are looking at your resume and they don't see a GitHub, that could be a big red flag to show like you're not building. So it's important to show that and have that in your header of your resume. And then education section looks good. Just move coursework into the technical skills section. Yeah, technical skills look good. Organizations. This is fine for right now since there's not like an experience or anything on your resume, but once you pick up an experience, I would move organizations into a bullet point under technical skills and have it out there. But right now, since you don't have any like experiences, it's fine to leave. So we'll get into the project sections right now. Um, Off the bat, you don't need to. I don't think you need to talk about or list in the title of your project like where to place. Instead, here I would list the tech stack next to the project name, so recruiters are able to see what you used. Um, yeah. Um, Another big thing is I see some technologies listed in your projects that I don't see in the technical skills. This should be like a one-to-one mapping. If I see something um, in your project, a technology in your project section, I should also see in your technical skills. So here I see Fast API in the as one of the projects in one of the projects, but I don't see it there. Just try and be mindful of this. And a lot of white space in your projects, either add more or delete some to reduce white space if possible. And then yeah, that applies for all three of your projects. And biggest thing with your projects, as I'm reading it, they look good, but I don't see any quantification. Like I think I see one number across three project experiences through over 9 bullet points. So try and shoot for 1-to-1 ratio. Try and quantify at least every bullet point on your for your projects. That would be good. And then, but yeah, make those changes and then try and just put into LinkedIn or left out format, and you should be rolling. Cool. Okay, Paul, I'm gonna pull up your resume really quick, and then I'll go through it next. Cool. Okay. Here we have Paul's resume. We'll go through next. So yeah, first thing, location bias could lead to that. I would remove that, but everything else in your header looks good. I like you're using the linked and left out format. You're I would just try and put in the correct format. Like here you have the your expected graduation kind of next to your majors and minors and stuff. For the linked and left out format, like we normally keep it all the way to the right, so it's just a little formatting issue I would be mindful of. Back to your resume. Copperville University. There's only really a need to have one university listed. Like you have Dillard listed, and I guess that's that's where the majority of your education took place. So I would just get rid of the Copperbelt University. Like it's not serving much purpose on this resume except taking up a bit of space. But yeah, that's good. Education section, relevant coursework could move into the technical skills section, like I talked about earlier. Just add it as another bullet point here. But off the bat, your technical skills section looks really good. A lot of good like tools and technologies here. Now we'll go into your experiences. Good quantification here. A lot of white space on this line. Add more or remove or remove some words to get rid of it. These two lines, try and quantify it if possible. Same thing for your AI engineering fellow as well. A lot of white space. And then for your dates, try and move it all the way to the right of this all the way to the right for each experience instead of just having it right next to the name. Same thing with location. But yeah, biggest thing for your work experience section, I would say, would be to add some numbers to quantify the impact is because there's not much quantification going on here, and there's a lot of white space. So two biggest things here: work on quantifying your impact and getting rid of white space. For your work experience, now we'll go into your projects. A lot of good projects here. I don't think you need to mention where it or the organization you did it for. If you want to include it on one of the bullet points, you can. You shouldn't list it up here. You should only list the name of the project and like the tech stack you used directly next to it, and then have the date to the right, all the way to the right. But yeah, honestly, this first project, Mastercard Challenge, looks really good. A lot of quantification going on. Seems like a lot of good work here. And then yeah, same thing for the other one. A lot of white space. Try and work on that if possible, but good quantification there. And yeah, third one, Truth Lens, same thing. A lot of white space, but no quantification here. Try and integrate some numbers into that if possible. And then programs and memberships. This is fine for now since your resume is not, but as it starts to fill up, I would just move this programs and memberships section to a bullet point within technical skills, because your projects and your work experiences hold a lot more weight than like what clubs and organizations you're part of. Cool. Yeah, that's the 7 I was supposed to go through. If there's anyone in here that I did not go through your resume and you want me to go through it on live, give me like a yes in the chat or something. Did I go through? Okay, cool. I can go through yours. Just email me a copy of it to here, and then once you send that over, I'll pull it up and I'll go through it. Yeah, no worries. Take your time. Quick question for the chat while we have some time. What's like the biggest thing you guys are struggling in for recruiting right now? Just curious. Sent. Okay, cool. I'll pull it up right now. Okay. Cool. Yep. Just got 2 more, so I'll pull those up. Send mine via the Google form. Okay. I don't have access to the Google form, so I won't be able to see that. But if you want to send it to my email, I can go through it then. Do it that way. But yeah, thanks for the 2 resumes that got sent over from the chat. I'll go through them now. So first we have Chisholm's. Off the bat, you already know what I'm going to say. Education, skills courses, experience, projects. That's it. Your resume here. First, the header is not centered. Yeah, Zainab, I got your email. I'll be going through your resume next. Okay, so for Chisholm's, list out the GitHub name, list out your LinkedIn, list out your GitHub link, list out your LinkedIn link. I would just have your portfolio in the GitHub if someone wants to look through it. Same thing with your blog. List out your actual email. Get rid of this professional summary. Recruiters are more times than not going to spend time reading through this. Experience section. This looks pretty good. Just put this into LinkedIn left out format for experiences. But bullet points look really good. Honestly, a lot of white space here. I would try and get rid of that if possible. But yeah, it's well quantified. I see a lot of numbers here. It's pretty easy to read. Learn to earn position. Here, not much quantification. I would try and implement some numbers into that if possible. But experiences look good. Skills and competencies, tools framework. I don't know what computer science is. I'm guessing this is your classwork. Just put relevant coursework here instead of computer science. It's kind of hard to understand. Also, education should be the first thing, the first section of your resume. Just move this up. And then as you build more projects and gain more experiences, I would get rid of this professional certifications section and then just list them out with commas under skills and competencies. But projects, get rid of the GitHub link and website. If someone wants to look through your projects, they should be searchable within your GitHub repository with the actual link. So you don't need to include these links here. For your bullet points, you're only using one bullet point for each. I would try and have more bullet points and quantify the bullet points if possible. But yep, it's pretty good. Pretty good resume, Chisholm. Nice job. Now we'll go over to Zainab's. I feel like I've seen this one before. Maybe wrong though, but good format, LinkedIn left out format, good header, LinkedIn, GitHub. You're hitting on all those there. Technical skills here at LinkedIn left out, we have that right after education. So I'll just move this up between education and experience. Experience, really good. For the first one, good use of numbers, good quantification here. Try and get rid of this white space if you can, but that looks good. Try and add some quantification to your second experience. I see you've done it once. Try and add it a few more times if possible. Just go back, think about what you did, and try and include that if possible. It always helps, trust me. And yeah, for your third one, it actually seems really interesting, like the work you did. You ran but one thing I would say, if I'm a recruiter, you ran a statistical hypothetical test to compare fashion. What were the results? Like, it says you presented it, but recruiters want to know the results. Just try and list that out on the bullet point and try and get rid of the white space again. We'll hop into your projects next. Good job including the project name and the tech stack right next to it. I would include the date that this project was completed on the right, but yeah, good quantification here. And yeah, nothing much I could say except a lot of pretty huge chunk of white space for this point. I would just try and trim it down. so it's like 2 lines instead of having a lot more white space here. Okay, but yeah, great job on this resume. Mabinti, I see your resume came through, or no, Haja Ratu Savage. I just saw your resume come through. I'm gonna pull it up now. Sorry if I messed up your name. Okay, here. You guys already know what I'm gonna say right off the bat. This is not with the header and the only 4 sections: education, skills, courses, experience, and projects. In that order. So here, off the bat, let's first list out your LinkedIn link. Second, get rid of the summary. Okay, I just saw your comment in the chat. Thank you. Get rid of the summary. Most recruiters spend seconds scanning through your resume. They're not going to read a whole few sentences. They just want to see where you've interned at, your skills. They're not going to be really interested in reading a paragraph. That would be my first thing. Education, Towson. Oh, nice. Shout out Maryland. Bachelor of Science, IT. Here you have a 3.67. That was a joke. I would try and get rid of the GPA here. It could lead to some biases. Like most positions get thousands of candidates. But a lot of kids will have like 3 9s and 4 O's. It's better if your GPA is not close. It's like really close to 4.0. I found that leaving it out works better. You just don't want to hurt yourself. If 2 people are comparing candidates, if a recruiter is comparing candidates, and they see one has a higher GPA than the other, that could just work negatively against you. And then, yeah, I would move relevant coursework into your technical skills section. Good job listing your skills up here. Work experience, just try and get this into the LinkedIn left out format. A lot of white space here. And no numbers. I don't see a single number in any out of 12 bullet points here. So I would spend a lot of time thinking about the work you've done and how what you did can be mapped to an impact. And then if there's any way to quantify that impact, that would be my biggest thing here. Do that while reducing white space as much as possible. Certification section, we don't need an entire section dedicated to that. Add it as another line in technical skills and just list out the certifications you got with commas. Projects, good job. Project name, tech stack. Similar to your work experience bullet points, a lot of white space, 0 numbers. Again, go through your projects, think about what you did, what value it brought, and how that value can be quantified. And then leadership and professional development. I mean, as you fill up more, as you add like more lines to your projects and experience and work experiences section, I think your resume will start to fill up more. You can honestly just move your leadership. And if you want to have it in your resume, just add it on another line, just listing out the organizations you're part of there. And then additional skills, a bunch of soft skills here. Would not include this. We've seen at LinkedIn left out like soft skills don't really belong on a CS resume. So I would just get rid of that. But yeah, other than that, good job with this resume here. But yeah, that's all the resumes that we have today. If there's anyone in the chat that I didn't go through your resume today, if you want to send it over, I can. Also, if you guys have any questions for me, feel free to send it in the chat. But yeah, of course. Always happy to help. If you guys want to connect with me on LinkedIn, just put in the chat. We do this every Wednesday at 8. Anyone else? No questions? Cool. I guess, I mean, we have a few more minutes left. I guess we can wrap up early. Thanks everyone for joining today, and hope you guys found this useful and got some resume help off it. Yeah, I'll do that right after I end the live stream. Yep, no worries. All right. Thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon, evening.